about this show, All American Muslim, and I know that Claire's going to be joining us later in the week to talk about this show, but I had a chance to catch an episode of it the other night over the holiday after all the brouhaha from this pro-Israel group trying to organize a boycott, trying to get the advertisers to quit this show. And they did succeed with Lowe's Home Improvement, which is why I am never going into a Lowe's as long as I shall live, and for several months after that. And so I watched the show, and basically I can understand why Israel hates this program. Because it shows these American Muslims as people, human beings. Oh, my goodness. They're not sitting there making bombs and planning to blow up the United States. They're worried about marriage. They're worried about their kids. They're worried about making a living, making ends meet in these hard economic times. If you take away the religious regalia, they look and sound just like us. In fact, they sound like they're from New York. They're not evil people. They're not caricatures from a Jeff Dunham ventriloquist act. They're men, women, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. They're kids. They're people. Just like me, just like you. That makes this show incredibly dangerous to Israel and the war machine. Because you can't start a war on people who look and act and sound just like you. What was it Kennedy said a while back? I should have looked this up before I did the show about, we all see the same sky. We all breathe the same air. We're all mortal. We all cherish our children's futures. When you set aside all this manufactured, invented differences of religion and politics, we're all one people. We all have the same concerns, the same problems. The war machine, the Israelis can't stand that. They have to dehumanize the Muslims. They have to declare them to be Untermenschen. They're hajis, they're towel heads, they're ragheads, they're sand niggers. I mean, these are some of the names that we constantly see to refer to Muslims and Arabs, whether in our country or other countries. And they're not fair. It's as unfair as when the Americans were having to call the Vietnamese gooks and slants and slopes. We can't acknowledge them as our fellow human beings, because then it becomes harder to get people to pull the trigger on them. Even with all these new video game displays that just blur them to white blobs so you can't actually see the horror of what you're doing with these drones. It's part of making them the enemy, saying that they're less than human. They're not worthy of your concern. They're just cattle. They're goyim. We don't have to care about them. And this show, I applaud the Learning Channel and Discovery, and I sent them a very long email about how wonderful I thought the show was, and I encourage you to do the same. And I got a very nice reply back from them. The controversy has increased the viewership of the show, and that's a good thing, because Americans need to see this program. They need to see that Muslims are not automatically evil, slime people. They really are just like you and I, and they dress a little differently. The women have shawls over their head. And I want to tell you something. When I was a kid, kerchiefs on the hair was the fashion. My mother wore one all the time. She's not Muslim. She was raised Congregationalist. But that was the fashion. So if you get a chance, tune into the show, All American Muslim. Go make rude noises in front of the Lowe's hardware, home improvement stores. And if you get a chance, drop a note to Learning Channel and congratulate them for this. All right, they're still basically saying the official media is Santorum and Ron Paul are now neck and neck. Only 4% in. This could go anywhere. Our numbers are saying Ron Paul is going to win it. We know the vote stealers are looking to get it close enough to where they can steal it for Romney or Santorum. Just anybody but Ron Paul. We'll be back tomorrow talking about the results. Be ready to be angry. Aloha, America.